Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing the review of the Carlton vs Collingwood round 10 game, going through who went well, who got tagged a little bit from Ed Kerno in the form of Nick DAICOS, and then how we shape up and I guess change our sides a little bit based on this result. I mean, you've got Collingwood in the better bye round. I was looking at like Darcy Cameron maybe, but he had a bad performance, so need another week out of him. Carlton, these guys, it's really hard to get a read on them basically, as it all depends on their fantasy output as a team basically. Some weeks they're 2,000, some week they're 1,400. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, I've done it again with Carlton and Collingwood, their players. So we'll go through Doherty first, 42, 28, 22, 32, very consistent here, and ended up a 1-2-4, but I wouldn't read too much into it. I think we need to see a couple more weeks of him consistently going over the ton, no matter what Carlton do, as if he's going to be, I mean, he is the top scorer by a little while, and a little bit over the likes of Charlie Curnow. But I think we just need to see him consistently do it so that we can actually trust him. Then we got Chera here, and he was ultra consistent, and it's a hard one to read because he obviously he struggled a little bit in terms of that's DT score, I'm pretty sure, I think. But anyway, moving on. I think he's a tough one to read because he's just so inconsistent, it looks like. Like last week he dropped a 60, he's dropped hundreds, and if we look back here, it's probably going to be prove me wrong here. But 119, 62, 130, 137, 130, 85, 69. So I don't know whether he's in this run here or this run here, or I don't know what to read of it. But he comes up against the Swans, where he should absolutely have a field day in the midfield, as they try and do whatever they can to stop Cripps. Then he comes up against Essendon, the Bombers, and Gold Coast, and then comes out of the bye with Hawthorn, Fremantle, Port, West Coast. So he might be an out of the bye type pick, but we'll have to wait and see. Then you got Curnow here, who ended up having a 52-point quarter. Wow. 1-2. Did he end up only kicking 3 by this? From what I heard, he kicked 3. And yeah, just decent game for him fantasy-wise, but he's not fantasy relevant, really. Then you got Walshy here, low score of a 90. So did he get his 25 touch streak, or did that end? He probably got it. He just didn't do anything outside of that, I'm guessing. If we look at Walsh here, 29 disposals, 2 marks, 5 tackles, 2 frees for, 2 frees against. So didn't get the really the disposal split we want, and didn't get the marks and tackles needed to get that big score. So that's why he's down there. Cripps 89, just been disappointing this year. Kennedy had a pretty good score. Oh no, not really. 78 actually. It drops off quite a lot. So glad that they didn't go for him. Akers, Curnow, Pitnet, Nick Newman had a really disappointing score, so he's starting to drop. As you can see here, just a couple of disappointing quarters. Silvani, Young, Mackay, Durden, Sard's been disappointing recently. And then Hewitt came on in the, was it the second half? Yeah, second half it looks like. And didn't do much basically, and they subbed out Holland, who lost a lot of money for what he did, and is now getting out of everyone's team because he has, I think, probably a 70 or so break even, which is just not sustainable. Then you got DAICOS here for Collingwood. Josh DAICOS, top scorer. He's actually been pretty good. So if we look here, 806k for a guy averaging 96 with a low of a couple of 70 scores, but then 90s outside of that. Not bad. I think we just really want him to be able to go 120 plus, and I don't know if he can. I mean, he's got North and then the Eagles, so you could potentially pick him up, but I think there's probably better options out there that can go more volatile and really pick up scoring. But if you wanted to, I guess, pick him up, it would be a very big risk, but I could also see why you do that. More Pendlebury, Noble, Mitchell, Myercheck, Goey again had another down game. And then you have Nick DAICOS, who's dropping cash quite quickly, honestly. What's he at now? 923k, but it doesn't really matter because everyone's got him in their sides. And he's currently owned by 63%, and he'll just come back with a big score next week. It's as simple as that. I don't know if he necessarily got tagged. Well, he did get tagged by Ed Kerno, and that's why he got only a 79. A little bit disappointing in the second half, but I think the game was pretty much over by then, so it didn't matter. Then you have side bottom here, 74, Cox 64, Crisp 62, Elliott's 57, Cameron 57, a little bit disappointing. -1 last quarter, which really could have, if he'd scored like an 80 or a 90, I think it would have been a go, but need him to bleed a little bit more cash, to be honest with you. If we look here at Darcy Cameron, he's now at 688k, went down 31k, and will probably drop another 30 or 60k. So he's a guy probably post his buy in round 14 that you can look to pick up in round 15 as a cheap guy. As we look to get rid of, I will probably be getting rid of like maybe a Whitfield if he doesn't perform by then. Maybe a Harry Sheasel or something like that. It is going to be cutting some of my favourites by then, but we'll have to wait and see with who does perform well. But it also might enable me, if he has bottomed out at 600k, to pull off maybe even getting Wardlaw to someone. But I will have to pull someone in this midfield. As you can see, Bontempelli has the round 15, I believe, round 15. Does Petrarca's round 14. Tom Green has round 15. So I don't really want to be getting rid of Bont and Green. DAICOS isn't there. So it might be getting rid of Whitfield. That could be an option by then. Butters, Rosie has the round 15, so could get rid of him if he doesn't start performing again. And then no one else here really has, other than these two, has Taranto I'm not going to get rid of. Josh Dunkley has round 12, so it is going to probably be Sheasel that we move on from. As I mean, we can probably get him up to someone big at that point, so move him and someone else on, and yeah, so we'll see when that happens, who we do move on. But Cameron is someone, certainly, if he can pick up that 100 form again, that we can move on to, as he will be 600 or so K. McCreary, Markov, Maynard, Quaynor, Hill, Johnson, Murphy, Adams, Jennifer, no one else here really to talk about, as no one else did anything. So that's the video there. If I go back to the main screen. So that's the video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.